seen this before with the Syrian regime, where in principle and on paper you've got these agreements for de-escalation or for ceasefires, and the regime has then backtracked and continued attacks. At this time, the area we're talking about is Eastern Ghouta, which is a rebel-held stronghold just on the outskirts of Damascus. It's thought there's some 400,000 people that live there. And over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a very heavy bombardment by the Syrian regime, and that's despite the fact that this area came under a de-escalation zone agreement that was worked on by Russia, Iran, and Turkey. And then at the start of last week, when you had the Geneva talks on Syria, you had another truce announced, a Russian-brokered ceasefire in Eastern Ghouta while those diplomatic talks were going on. Now, obviously, that first round last week ended pretty acrimoniously. The Syrian regime delegation leaving. It's not clear if they'll return when those talks pick back up later on this week. And in the wake of those talks and the regime leaving, you've seen the bombardment again start up. So that's the images coming from the Syrian civil defense white helmets showing the aftermath of those reported strikes on the ground. Syrian Observatory for Human Rights has said that at least 25 people have died. So, despite the fact that, again, on paper, there's these promises being made on the ground, very clearly we're seeing that the attacks continue in violation of those agreements.
And you've been on the ground in Syria the last few days. As the political process in Geneva gets ready to start back, do people in the country feel any hope that things will get better, as so many people are also stuck and trapped in Eastern Ghouta?
Yeah, well, we've been travelling in and out of Syria for the past couple of days into an area in northern Syria that's now under the Free Syrian Army control, and it was able to take back that territory from Daesh with the help of the Turkish-backed military operation Euphrates Shield. And it's very interesting talking to the people there, because obviously the security situation in that area is still extremely tight, but you're already seeing rebuilding going on, people able to get back to some sense of normality, the children going to school and the shops are opened. But of course, in an area like Eastern Ghouta that's been completely besieged, not even basic medical food supplies are getting in. And so that's led to a warning from the UN that those food shortages are leading to severe malnutrition. So that's extremely concerning, and there's absolutely no access to those places like Eastern Ghouta. In the places I've been travelling to in Syria over the last few days, talking to people about the ongoing political diplomatic process, I mean, understandably, there's a fair amount of skepticism, but what a lot of people will tell you is, look, right from the start of this political process, the diplomatic process that has been going on for many years now, they've never addressed the fundamental problem, and that problem is that the opposition, fractured as it is, and as many factions as there are in that now, will never accept Assad as the head of the country, as the president of Syria. And the Syrian regime have made very clear and again stated that in their talks, that that's not a precondition that they're willing to hold diplomatic talks on. So, again, for many years now, on the ground in Syria, it is a world away from what takes place diplomatically. And you speak to people there, and for many people, the peace talks couldn't be further from their mind. Their sort of basic focus is on daily survival.